Aloha world! Today I'm going to talk about a part of the world that is very dear to me, which is the Pacific, the islands of the Pacific. When I arrived at BYU, Hawaii, I went to the Polynesian Cultural Center, which is next door, for the first time. And I loved it, and it was so exciting to see all of the islands, and it was wonderful. But then I started meeting people from the Pacific whose countries were not represented. At the PCC, the Polynesian Cultural Center, there are villages that represent the different Polynesian islands. And I realized that there were other islands in the Pacific that were not Polynesian. And so today I'm going to explain that there are actually three main groups of islands in the Pacific. And I'm going to explain what countries they are and kind of the distinct characteristics of each one. So first is Polynesian. So poly means many islands, and they get a lot of love, which is well deserved because they are very lovable. And they're the ones that people kind of know the most often, the most well-known islands in the Pacific, which are at the PCC. So they include countries like Samoa, Tonga, Aotearoa, New Zealand, which is my favorite, Fiji, Tahiti, Hawaii, and then sometimes the Cook Islands are at the PCC. So those are some examples of Polynesian islands. The next group is the Micronesian islands. So micro means small. So these are usually small islands, and many of them are like Kiribati. They are coral atolls. And they include Kiribati, the Marshall Islands, Guam, Pohnpei, Palau, Nauru, the Federated States of Micronesia, Chuuk, and Yap, as well as many others. And then the last group is Melanesia. So Mela means dark, so these are often, the people from Melanesia often have darker skin than the people from the other groups of islands. But it definitely ranges, and it just depends. But countries in Melanesia include Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, New Caledonia, and then also sometimes Fiji. So Fiji is on the border between Polynesia and Melanesia, and they have characteristics of both, so they kind of get to be both. But I guess we'll allow it. So I just wanted to give you that explanation, and you think, so what do you call if you want to talk about all of these groups at once? I think the best way that you can do that is by saying Pacific Islands or Pacific Islanders. As they say at the PCC, the waters do not divide us, they unite us. And so it's good to know who people are and where they come from, but at the end of the day, we are all people. I was going to say we are all islanders, but I'm not an islander. I just love islanders. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you are from one of these groups, or if you love Pacific Islands as much as I do. Have a great day.